MLB Talk, New York's #1 baseball podcast. Now here's your hosts, Chris Pizzaya and Rob Maraska.
Welcome to a new episode of MLB Talk with your host, Chris and Rob. And remember, you can follow us on Twitter /X at NYMLB Talk. You can follow Rob at R Maraska. You can follow myself at CP7NY. And while you're here, if you're watching us on YouTube, definitely hit that subscribe button for us. That would be awesome. We should be having Frank the Tank Fleming joining us very soon. Can't wait to chat with him. It's going to be a lot of fun. Rob, what's going on, man?
Hey, Chris. Yeah, it's going to be fun talking to Frank the Tank. I'm looking forward to that. You know, we got this early morning show today because this is when he could come on. Also, I want to welcome any new viewers from Facebook and from X/Twitter. Welcome to the show. You guys also, could subscribe to us on YouTube. We'd appreciate it. How's everything going, Chris?
Good, man. Good. Hey, listen, Yankees swept the Angels out in California. That was great. Now they head over to LA to play the Dodgers for a 3-game series this weekend. You guys took 2 out of 3 against the White Sox. I know the last game wasn't exactly the way you wanted it to go, but that's all right. Hey, you win series. That's the main goal. I know you like to sweep against a team like the White Sox, and now you got the Rockies coming up. So, you know what? Just keep winning series. That's all that's about, man.
Yeah, that's it. You know what? The Yankees lost one against the Rockies. The Mets lose one against the White Sox. It happens. But the key, like you said, is winning series. You win series and you're going places. You just have to win those series because no one is going to win every game, of course. So as long as you win the series, and especially the series against teams that you should be crushing, you'll do fine.
Yeah, no, I agree. And watching the series against the White Sox, did you see anything positive out of Juan Soto, or are we watching the same thing we've seen so far this year?
We're watching basically the same thing we've seen all year. We've said it a million times. Is it this contract? Is it the pressure of the contract? One thing I did see, though, when the Mets won on Monday, and we're going to bring Frank the Tank on, and I'm going to continue this thought. When the Mets won on Monday, at least Soto was celebrating. So, well, we want to see what Frank says about all this stuff. How you doing, Frank? Thanks for coming on the show. We appreciate it.
All right.
All right. Let's skip the Mets stuff for a second, because I want to start off on a good side, on a good tone, Frank. Listen, man, we're both big fans of your Frank Walk show. I love it. I love that you're going out there and showing us the journey you're going through with the weight loss and everything. I think it's awesome. But you're also having conversations with some pretty famous people. What are your thoughts on that?
It's been amazing. I mean, what else can I say? I mean, just got dropped right now is Jim McMahon, former Bears quarterback, legend. That episode just came out. It's this week's episode.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to check that out. I tell you, one of my favorite ones that I've watched is the Pete Weber, the bowling great. Because bowling doesn't get enough notoriety and everything else. I bowled my whole life, so
no, it doesn't.
Been a fan, so it was good to hear from him.
No, it doesn't. That was good. Big Cardinal fan, by the way.
Yeah, I didn't know any of that, so that was good. And that's another thing, we're learning a lot. I think another good one was the Don LaGreca episode. LaGreca for me he's my favorite guy on the radio. Being in New York, obviously, he's the best, man.
Yes, yeah, very nice guy too.
Yeah, he seems that way. Seems like a guy you could just hang out, watch the game, and grab a drink with.
Yep.
Yeah, I enjoy him too. It's great seeing your journey, and I like all the different things you do. The cooking, the just everything. I enjoy it. You're great. So how did this all start? How did you get up to almost 300,000 followers? I mean, that's great.
Basically, it all started when I that train
Yeah.
derailed, and I missed the start of opening day, and then I got hired by Barstool. Eventually, I became full time, and I just put out content all the time, and that's how it happens. You just keep putting out content.
Yeah. And I
Yeah,
think that
and
I was
go
going to say
ahead,
that
Chris.
rant, that New Jersey Transit rant, was probably something
Yeah.
that everybody wanted to do and still
Oh,
wants to do. Let's be honest.
they're
It
still
hasn't gotten any
terrible.
better since then.
They're still terrible.
Oh, it's awful. It's awful.
Oh yeah, it is terrible. I mean, I'm in New York now, but I'm from Jersey, and it's always been terrible. It's everything. New Jersey Transit has been terrible, and it's always going to be terrible. None of these things get fixed. It's
No,
ridiculous what
no.
people have
All
to
they
go
do,
through.
and all the money they spend goes to for their offices, for their executive boards.
Yep.
It's a joke.
I agree.
Yeah, it is a joke. The money goes into people's pockets also, and it's a mess. People are constantly late. Things are, trains they're constantly closing. It's just ridiculous, and it's out of control. That when you did that, that was great. Like Chris said, you spoke for thousands of people, and that was awesome.
Frank, getting back to your walks for a second, those were a couple of my favorites. What have been a couple of your highlights so far in your walk?
Obviously, walking with Dwight Good and Dallas Strawberry.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's that was great. Yeah, it's great. Now we wanna ask you a couple of questions about the Mets. And what about Soto? What do you think about this deal? 15 years of
Oh
Soto.
God, it's starting to look like a disaster. I mean, he looks mentally checked out. I mean, it looks like he doesn't even want to celebrate when they win. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah, on Monday he did celebrate, but you're right. It just looks like, and Chris, I'm the Met guy. Chris is the Yankee guy, so he's used to Soto, the Soto that he got last year. But this year we have not seen that Soto. What do you think the problem is, Frank?
I don't know. I don't know. He hits into a double play every day. His batting average is like 211. Doesn't have a home run in 3 weeks. I think he only has one double in the last 2 weeks. I mean, it has just been awful.
Yeah.
I
I
yeah,
listen, he's got it, to be honest, he just has to get back to playing the game, right? Just like playing the game and loving the game, because that's what he was last year. It looked like a guy that just loved to play baseball, right, with the Yankees, and that was it. And I think if he gets back to that, he'll be fine. I mean,
I don't know if that's coming though. I mean, it's been miserable.
I know something is up with him. I just think mentally someone's got to talk to him, whether it's one of the players, family, coach, somebody's got to be like, yo, just get back to playing ball. That's it. You're this great player.
I think the person that should fall on is Lindor.
Yeah. He's the leader of the team, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, he's not been named captain yet, but for all intents and purposes, he is the captain.
Yeah.
He is the captain. He's, he right now he really is the face of the Mets, with My Girl, people going nuts with that
Yes,
song when he gets
yes.
up, right? He's got to say something to Soto. I mean, I don't know, we don't know if he has, but it's have you ever seen, and listen, Lindor started off slow. Jason Bay was a disaster. Piazza started off slow, so we've seen this before. And if I want to go way back, George Foster. But Frank, have you ever seen anything like this before?
Yeah, Bobby Bonilla.
And Bobby
God.
Bonilla.
Don't say that. It can't be this
Listen,
bad.
and we're still paying for Bobby Bonilla, right?
Right. It can't be that bad. Come on.
I mean, this is it really is Bobby Bonilla like.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It is.
And
I just think Soto's going to listen, it's a matter of time where he's going to click on and he's going to say, all right, screw this. I'm going to start playing game. I'm going to start playing the game.
Yeah, well, it's getting a little late now. Let's better get his head out of his ass.
I agree.
listen, I agree too. It's listen, I love listening to your rants too, because it's getting ridiculous. What did you think about that loss to the White Sox the other day? They should have swept that series. What's going on?
The White Sox outplayed them the whole series. They were they were lucky to win on Monday. They didn't play great on Tuesday, and they got their doors blown off on Wednesday.
Yeah, and they got lucky on Monday because nothing happened until the 8th inning, right? Nothing at all. And then, they luckily won it with Lindor's walk-off sacrifice fly, and that's when I saw Soto finally celebrating something. But I mean, Frank, they can't lose to teams like the White Sox.
No.
Agree. And now we have Colorado coming up, right? So what's going to happen? What's going to happen with Colorado? What do you think is going to happen? You think the Mets are going to sweep Colorado? The Yankees lost the game to Colorado last Friday night.
I would be surprised if the Mets lose 2 out of 3.
So you think they're going to lose 2 out of 3? What do the Mets have to do? In your opinion, what do they have to do to turn Soto around and to get everything going? Because when they stopped hitting altogether, right? It was like all of a sudden they stopped. What do they have to do?
Well, I think the pitching's starting to level off. Go back to the meme. I mean, the pitching's been carrying them, but these are not. These are middle rotation starters.
Yeah, listen, the Mets. We did not think the pitching was going to be this good with the injuries and everything. So in that aspect, the Mets have been, they've been overplaying and they've been pretty good. The bullpen too, but that may not last forever. So they have to start hitting. Soto has to start hitting, because if he thought it was brutal in Yankee Stadium when the Mets played the Yankees, if he doesn't start hitting by the middle of June, Citi Field is going to be going nuts too.
He started hearing boos in the last game, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He did. It's just crazy. But all right, Frank, a couple other questions about the Mets. What do you think of Citi Field? Which stadium do you like better? Did you like Shea better or Citi Field?
Citi Field.
Okay, you like and for what reason?
It's just modern and natural. Good sightlines everywhere. Shea Stadium was built, was antiquated, and it's like it was like a precursor of the coming cookie cutters, which really wasn't that good.
Yeah, I agree with that. But for me, Shea Stadium, and I love Citi Field, but for me, Shea Stadium used to rock. Shea Stadium would shake. I saw a ton of great games at Shea Stadium. 86 World Series. The 2006 playoffs until the last pitch of the game. A ton of things. And Shea Stadium used to rock. Citi Field, yeah, Citi Field is beautiful. Shea Stadium was cookie cutter like the rest of them in Philadelphia, Cincinnati, all those stadiums. Yes, I agree with you. But I do have a place in my heart for Shea Stadium, definitely.
Yeah, but it's something that was of its era, and that era is gone.
Yeah, it definitely. Well, baseball is a totally different game. Chris, what do you think too? You're old school like me, right? So, what do you think about?
I've been at both stadiums. Citi Field is definitely the better stadium. Yeah. Obviously, Shea is going to have all the memories because you guys won the World Series there. So yeah, of course the memories, just like Yankee Stadium. Listen, is the new Yankee Stadium better? yeah, it's got better food and all that stuff. But the old stadium, there's nothing like old Yankee Stadium, man. There's so much great memories there.
Well, Yankee Stadium's a little different. Yankee Stadium was timeless. Yankee Stadium,
Yeah.
I think they should have just given it the Wrigley treatment.
Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree. And listen, Frank, what do you think it is? Do you think? I think with the new stadiums, they should have started with the newer stadiums being built to put some kind of a roof on these things, retractable roof. Are you on that or no? You don't like that idea?
I don't love it. I don't want every stadium looking the same, but sometimes you'd wonder.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, so I mean, especially when the weather in the East in April and now May is just out of control. Retractable roof, I would be for a retractable roof.
Yeah, but those things are so expensive that it causes problems. And some of these retractable roof stadiums look like just friggin' like aircraft hangars. They're ugly.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, especially in New York. If you're going to build it in New York, I mean, it's way cheaper to build one in Arizona or in Pittsburgh. When you talk about New York, forget about it. Everyone has to get paid and payoffs, and it's just not worth it money wise, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah. So Frank, looking at the Mets now, and in a couple of months we're going to have the trade deadline, or less than a couple of months. What do you think the Mets need? Looking at the team now, to add.
I'm starting to think they need another bat, and if possible, a frontline pitcher.
Even with Manaea coming back?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Frank because we don't know how Manaea is going to pitch when he gets back, right?
Yes.
We don't
and
know.
And Manaea is a second, third reliever. Second, third start. He's not a number one.
Right.
Exactly. And I mean, right now, Senga has been doing great. Clay Holmes, he's been really good for us. That gets to Chris being a Yankee fan, but I have no complaints about Clay Holmes. What do you think about Clay Holmes being made a starter, Frank?
He's been good so far.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked myself, I'll be honest. But hey, good for him and good for you guys. I mean,
what scares me is, that might change.
Yeah, I can tell you. Right.
Look how Griffin Canning looked Wednesday.
That's true.
Yeah. Canning's last two starts have not been that great. Before that, he was looking really good. But yeah, towards the trade deadline, I agree with you. They have to pick up some pitching, and I don't know. They need another spark in this lineup. I don't know. They have to work on stuff. But listen, it could be a lot worse. Up until the Yankees series, the Mets were in first place, and then the Phillies passed them. But the Mets still have to play Philly a bunch of times. And remember, I think the Mets are in the Phillies' head after the playoffs last year. I mean, look at the first series they played this year.
Yeah. But the Mets really got to step it up. What the guys do is they got to really start hitting.
Yeah.
Yeah. They definitely do.
Here's a question. Well, what are your thoughts on Mauricio, and do you think they should bring him up?
I think Mauricio should definitely come up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think he should start at third? Well, what are your thoughts there? Like, what do you think he should? DH?
I think at this point you send Acuna down and you just slot him in Acuna's place. He can play second base.
Right.
Maybe he can play third a little bit. I just think Acuna's been such a slump. You got to get his bat on track, and the difference is that he's not really supposed to be up anyway. He was supposed to be AAA this year anyway. He's not. I think it's time to just get him back on track, and then hopefully in a couple of weeks he'll be back on track. Maybe call him up and then have somebody play the outfield.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's going to be an interesting trade deadline, I think, coming up for the Mets because, like you said, they got to add another bat for sure. Because after you listen, Soto's going to eventually hit, right? So the top of the lineup is going to be fine. It's the second half of the lineup that you want to see get going here somewhere. Alvarez has been slumping. Torrens has been great.
I'm at the point now where I'm wondering if first off, I think Alvarez has to go down to the minors.
Okay.
He might listen. He might. He didn't get a real spring training, right? Because
his
of the
bat
injury.
is terrible. He does not have any competitive at bats. He doesn't hit the ball hard. This guy was hitting 25 home runs 2 years ago. He has no power. It's like sending a pitcher up to the plate.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it has been.
Maybe it's the injury that it's just not healed right or something.
Well, something's got to be done. Yeah, I can't take watching him roll over to the second baseman again anymore.
Yeah,
I know. Listen, he has done nothing. Maybe they've done it before. Maybe you're right. They have to send him down. Bring the other kid back up as a backup. Let Torrens catch. He's been doing pretty well. And
get him on track. I mean, that's what it is. Just get him back on track. Put him in minors for a month. No pressure. Get his bat on track. See if he can find his power stroke, and then bring him up.
Yeah, they have to make a move. I mean, now it's the beginning of June. By the All-Star break, we're going to know what moves the Mets have to make. And the season, it's a long season, but Chris, the season flies by, right? It's already over. 1/3 of the season is over already.
Absolutely. That's why the trade deadline is going to come real fast. Do you here's the other thing. Are the Mets going to go big and go for like, say, a Luis Robert from the White Sox?
I don't know about Luis Robert.
No. Who would you give us a couple of names that you think they might go for.
I'm not exactly sure yet who would be available, but I see Pittsburgh being a big seller. There's not anyone on that team I really want.
Yeah, what do they got? The Rockies, what do they got? They got nothing.
I see Cedric Mullins being available, but I don't see the Mets really being a player for him.
Yeah.
I don't either. Who are the Pirates going to trade? Skeens?
I think Sandy Alcantara will be available, but I think he's shot.
Yeah, what's going on with and he's throwing hard. It's not like his velocity's down. The guy's still throwing high 90s. So something's not right with him. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, he is shot.
Yeah, it's crazy because the Marlins were banking on him to pitch well, and then they were gonna trade him at the trade deadline and get 3-4 really good prospects.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I wouldn't trade anybody big for him.
Right. I agree. I don't know, man. Unless you're super confident that you could fix him or whatever you think is wrong with him, and you guys have a good pitching coach, obviously, because anybody you bring it in has been great. So
yeah, I would get Alcantara in the off season maybe, but
yeah.
I think this is a lost season for him.
Yeah, I agree. Coming back to Tommy John.
They have to fix him. They definitely have to fix him. I don't know. I heard like little rumors that the Yankees might be interested in him. Chris, what do you think about that?
It's possible, but like Frank said, he looks shot. So at this point, what are you going to offer?
His ERA's over 8.
That's crazy. It's insane for a guy like this. Guy won the Cy Young and he looked unhittable before the injury. So is it the injury?
His ERA's over 8. 8.
Like, what are you going to give up for him? That's the thing. And what are the Marlins going to take? Think about it. If he continues to pitch this bad, are the Marlins not even going to try to trade him because you're trading him? You're trading him low at this point. So what are you going to get for him? Right?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah,
I think right now the Marlins cannot trade him.
Yeah, they can't.
No, I don't think
so. For him.
Right, you're going to get nothing. You're going to get.
Yeah, no, they have to wait. They have to hope that he turns things around. It reminds me of another Marlins pitcher, Dontrell Willis. He's another guy who if you remember, he just fell off the map. He was great, and then he fell pretty
about
fast.
disastrous trades. I don't even know who the Marlins got back from the Tigers, but he was just throwing with Miguel Cabrera.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I gotta look this up. Who did they get in that trade? This is why the Marlins are a shit organization. I mean, how the fuck they won 2 World Series?
I don't know.
And one against the Yankees, Chris.
I know. Trust me, I know. That was
how. I know. 97. They brought everybody.
Yeah.
And they wanted to establish themselves, but man. Okay, here's the trade.
Yeah.
Here's the trade. Okay. Dallas Traherne, who never made it to the majors. Burke Badenhop. Frankie De La Cruz. Cameron Maben. Andrew Miller. And Mike Rabello.
Yeah. That's not and they also gave up Willis too. Dontrell Willis.
Yeah, that's Willis and Miguel Cabrera. Cameron Maben was okay.
Right. He had a nice career, a nice little career. Nothing great. Not Cabrera.
He was a 4th outfielder.
Right. Exactly.
Andrew Miller.
Nice relief pitcher for the Yankees.
Yeah, solid reliever. Had a couple of good years after he left the Marlins.
Right. And the other guy?
Who are these other guys? Frankie De La Cruz? Badenhop?
Yeah.
I mean...
Frankie De La Cruz. He played 11 games in his... 65 games in his career. 26 games. I'm sorry, 26 games in his career.
Burke Badenhop.
How? All right. In 97, I mean, look at the players that they had. All right. They had Sheffield, right? They had Al Leiter. They had a great team, and then they got rid of them. But
what happened after the 97 World Series?
Ugh.
But
they went all in, and then they went all out. Right?
Yeah,
they won the series, and then they sold everybody, and that's what they did in 03 too.
Yeah, that's what they did.
What happened was they got a new owner. Well, they were an expansion team.
Yeah,
and the owner there, Wayne Heisinger, also owned the Dolphins. He wanted to establish himself. So the Marlins were aggressive. They actually built a good team. They built a really good team right away. But the strike hit. And it's South Florida. It rains all the time. So attendance wasn't what he expected. And 97, during the wild card race, fans still bitter over the strike. Hot summer nights. No, they don't have a dome yet. They're sharing the Dolphins Stadium. So they didn't have the attendance that he expected. But in the playoff World Series, that place was packed. In fact, they took the tarps down off the upper deck and sold the upper deck.
That's right. They did do that.
That's right. I remember.
So this idiot wins the championship and says, I'm selling everybody. So they never even got a chance to celebrate and bask in that championship. You know what happens the year after a championship? You know what happens? That's when the attendance comes up.
Right, exactly. Right. It's so true. And he got rid of everybody.
And because had so much talent. I mean, they went from winning the World Series to losing 100 games.
Yeah.
But they got so much talent in these deals for everybody that they actually ended up being good enough to be like an Angels in the outfield. Because remember, they were 10 games under 500. They fired Jeff Torborg. Jack McKeon takes over. The Rangers thought Ivan Rodriguez was washed up, so they released him. They didn't re-sign him. He was a free agent. Took a 1-year deal to go to Miami.
Yep.
I think that's the one thing that's forgot about in 2003.
That's right.
The role Pudge played on that championship.
Yep.
So they sneak into the wild card spot, upset the Giants because Barry Bonds, he wasn't the best postseason performer.
No, he wasn't. He
Nope.
definitely wasn't.
So they upset the Giants. The Cubs choke, and the Yankees, I guess, were out of gas after playing the Red Sox.
Yes.
And lo and behold, they win another World Series. And 2 years later, let's break it down again.
Yeah.
Then they finally get their dome stadium. They finally tear down the Orange Bowl. They build this new Marlin Park. They sign all these players. They had an aggressive offseason. Mark Burley, Jose Reyes, Carlos Zambrano. They hired Ozzie Guillen, and then Ozzie Guillen pissed it all away, saying "Viva la Fidel." And the fans stayed away. And instead of just, let's try to, let's burn it again. Then they get John Carlos Stanton, trade him. Unfortunately, Jose Fernandez died, and
I know.
And now, if anyone shows any ability, they trade him right away. In fact, Sandy Alcantara would have been traded last year if he didn't have Tommy John.
Yep, that's true, and that's why it's going to be interesting what they do with him, because right now his value is nothing. So I really don't know what they're going to get for him. So they might hold on to him.
If you're the Marlins, it's you have a Mercedes.
It's not running well
with a damaged engine.
Yeah.
That it can be fixed, but if you try to sell it, you're going to get a quarter of the value. And
do you sell it though?
If you try to fix it yourself and you get it to the point where it's looking like it's good, you might get some value.
Yeah.
But if you trade him now, you'll get a quarter of the value, and you'll just look like an idiot when he finds his pitching rotation, and you got nothing.
Yeah. Well, when he goes to the Dodgers and the Dodgers fix him
again.
That's the only good trade they made when they broke the team up the last time, because they got nothing for Stanton.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing.
They got less than nothing for Christian Yelich.
Yeah.
And then lo and behold, we got this pitcher for Ozuna.
Yeah, it's just a mess of a franchise. It's the attendance in that stadium when they opened up, they thought that they were going to sell that place out. That's
Miami is a bunch of front runners. I'm a Dolphin fan. I know they're a bunch of front runners. If you're not good, you're not going to get anybody.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's the case. But all right, Frank, let's go back to the Mets for a minute. I'm interested. Who is your favorite all-time Met?
I like a lot of guys from the 69 team. Gooden, Strawberry. I like Piazza, Hernandez, Gary Carter, Howard Johnson. I would say those are my favorite Mets.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I can't argue with you there. One of my favorite Mets of all time, though, and when I was a kid, was Rusty Staub. I remember Rusty. I was a big Rusty Staub fan. But once again, something has to be done. Somebody's got to wake Soto up, because it's ridiculous. Every time he gets up, I'm watching him, and have you ever seen the guy strike out so much? Chris, I didn't see this last year when he was on the Yankees.
I didn't see it.
No.
His at-bats are not even, they don't even look competitive, which is ridiculous.
He's taking a lot of cold third strikes. He's not even swinging a bat. What's going on?
I honestly don't know. It's very frustrating.
It's got to be up in his head, yeah, and I'm sure it's frustrating for him. I'm sure he wants to perform. I mean, this is a guy that he relishes the big moment too. We've seen it in the playoffs last year. I mean, look at the at-bats that guy had.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But anyway, all right, Frank, we don't want to hold you up. We know you're super busy, got all your shows. We usually ask our guests one question at the end. So we're going to ask you this one. If you were if you were named baseball commissioner today, what changes would you make to the game?
What changes would I make the game as commissioner?
Yeah.
Well,
We got rid of Manfred finally, because I know nobody likes that guy. Get rid of that guy. We got Frank the Tank.
I would change up the extra inning rule just a little bit.
Okay.
I'd say that the 9th, 10th, and 11th, or the 10th, 11th, and 12th, no ghost runner.
Okay, that's
Oh, so
interesting.
give it 3 innings before you. So give it 3 innings before you go with the ghost. Okay.
Yes.
I like that.
Yes. What else would I do? I try to find better TV partners. That's for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, well, they're leaving ESPN for what is it? Is it
Can't
NBC
get worse
or
than that.
No, we don't have. They don't have that yet, but
they don't have it yet, right?
Likely, that looks likely. Well, ESPN has stopped caring about baseball about 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Carl Ravage is an awful announcer.
Yeah, I agree.
I try to sell the game better. I'd encourage every team to sell and market their players. Another thing I will do is I like the luxury tax. I think that works. What I would do, though, is I would have a salary floor.
Yeah.
Yes.
A salary floor.
Yeah, that's needed.
Definitely. We talk about that all the time, especially Chris.
Oh.
That's needed because you got these teams like Pittsburgh who they don't spend any money and look. They did nothing this offseason, right? They did nothing. It's ridiculous.
I think bad owners, and I'm talking about the guy in Pittsburgh, the guy in Sacramento, Vegas, Oakland, wherever the fuck is Fisher.
Right. Right. Where
I think those guys will be forced out, and I think the penalty for dropping below the salary floor is that you do not receive any revenue sharing.
I like that.
Yeah.
And you knock down your draft picks. You go from like if your spot
they took the draft picks away, but that doesn't matter to them.
Yeah, that's true.
That doesn't matter to them.
No, because they're putting that money in their pocket. They don't care. You got to hit them where it hurts. You do. You have to hit them with.
And if you don't reach a certain pay salary threshold, you cannot get revenue sharing.
Yeah, that's fair. I like that. That's great. Yeah, I like that.
I would have a fifth umpire on every crew who literally watches a monitor and buzzes down without even challenging. You can still have a challenge, but the fifth umpire buzzes down every time there's a play that might be questionable. And while they're discussing, this umpire will already have the replay ready.
Okay. That's a good one too.
I also would have the ABS system.
Yeah.
That we saw in spring training.
I agree with that too. That's needed for sure.
Yeah, so those are all good. Those are all good ideas. We agree with them. We hate the ghost runner too. You think they should not have a ghost runner for the 10th, 11th, and 12th.
I like that for the first 3 innings. Yeah, first 3 extra innings. Play it.
I know in regular season you don't want to have an 18 inning game.
Yeah, I get that.
So at least 1 or 2 innings, preferably 3.
Yeah,
play it straight.
That's fair.
No, that's good. Those are all good ones.
All right, Frank, before you go, I got to ask you, you're a Jersey guy. Why the Dolphins? Why? Marino? Is it just because you grew up with Marino?
It's basically Dan Marino.
All right. No, I listen, I know a lot of guys the same way that grew up and idolized Marino and stuff like, which is great. I mean, Marino is easily one of the greatest to ever play the game. I mean, it's not even close, but I know. and it sucks.
Oh, wait. Yeah, Chris, I have one question for him. In Jersey, okay, Frank, best hot dogs in your opinion?
Ruts Hot.
Ruts Hot, Ruts
By the
Hot.
way,
Love Ruts
by
Hot.
the way, my YouTube is 1M Frank the Tank Fleming.
Okay, we'll fix it.
Okay.
We'll get that fixed. Yeah, Ruts Hot, definitely excellent. I love them. I love them too. You know, that's one thing about Jersey, Chris. We've had great hot dog places all throughout Jersey, but Ruts Hut is probably the best.
Yeah.
All right.
I think so.
All right, Frank. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah,
listen,
we
man,
anytime.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Hey, listen, I just want to tell you, thank you for being an incredible inspiration to so many people with your walks, because you certainly are. You may not think you are, but you are. You're helping out tons of people that watch that. I think it's awesome. I mean, to talk to these famous people is one thing, but just to do the walking, man, you look great. You look really healthy.
Thanks.
Good for you, man. I'm proud of you. Just keep it up, man. And we're still going to be watching. So, and I'm looking forward to this Jim McMahon one too. So just want to say thank you.
All right. See you guys
Thanks,
next
Frank.
time.
We appreciate it. Take care.
Frank.
All right. See you guys next time.
Yep. Thank you.
All right, Chris. So that was good.
Yeah, that was awesome, man. Thank you, Frank, again, man. That was great. Definitely hit him up. Like I threw up there at NJTank99. That's his Twitter/X, and subscribe to him on YouTube at Frank the Tank Fleming. The walks are great. If you haven't checked him out, definitely check him out. He always has a guest walking with him, just talking, whether it's sports or whatever it might be. He's had so many famous people. Check it out. It's worth the watch. And his other content is great. The cooking, the soda reviews, the hot dog reviews. It's awesome. So he's one of the great ones out there. So check him out.
Yeah, definitely. So, Chris, I wanted to ask you a question. It looks like the Angels DFA'd Tim Anderson. What happened to this guy?
Man, I don't know. I think I think when Jose Ramirez knocked him out in that fight, he literally knocked out any baseball ability out of him, because since then he's been, a shell of what he used to be. I mean, this guy, won the batting title one year. He was an all-star. He was just this great player. I remember him hitting I think he was the guy that hit the game-winning home run in the Field of Dreams game against the Yankees that first year.
Yeah, that's right.
It was just, it's amazing. I really don't know what happened to the guy. I mean, since that fight, he has not been the same guy. Is that the real reason? I don't know, but yeah, it's a shame.
It is a shame. Do you see? Well, I mean, he's had a change of venue how many times? I mean, so do you? I heard this morning I was reading something about on social media, like these guys were saying, should the Yankees take a chance on him for third base? And with the situation in the Bronx, maybe how could it hurt? They're gonna have to pay him the minimum. Do you think that would be a good idea, or do you just think that he's shot?
Listen, I don't know if it's a great idea, because you got Jazz coming back in a few days, right? He's just started his rehab, and he's going to be up. You still want to give DJ a little bit more games to kind of get into, baseball shape, because he was out for so long. Plus, you got the trade deadline where you got to be able to get a better bat than Tim Anderson. If Jazz was out all year, I would think maybe he might be an option. You'd sign him for the league minimum, and you try him out for a couple of weeks and see what you got. If he shows something, you keep him. If not, then you got to add some at the trade deadline. But no, I don't think they will, because Jazz is coming back. I just don't see it. Because is he much better than? Is he going to be better than Peraza or Reyes or Vivas, who we have right now, or DJ? I don't think so. So, yeah, I don't think it's worth it.
No, I don't think it's worth it either. I don't know if anybody's going to pick him up now. I mean, you never know what could happen, but he just looks like a totally different person, and it's probably because of that fight. but it's a shame. Some of these guys fall so fast. It's like you can't even, you blink your eye and they're done,
Yeah.
in like such a quick amount of time.
Yep.
And, that's just baseball. It's been going on since, baseball has started, and it's a shame.
And you know what, Rob? I was saving this for after Frank left, because if I put this up, Frank would have really flipped out on the Mets. But somebody shared this on Twitter. These numbers. Check out these numbers. Hitting Mets individual batting average with runners in scoring position so far this season. Look at those numbers.
Oh yeah, it's horrible. I mean, Alonso, only Alonso really.
Alonso and Torrens
and Torrens. Yeah. Listen, I've been screaming about this all season, and I scream about this a lot with the Mets. The Mets leave runners in scoring position all the time. It's like they get the run. They don't have a problem getting runners on base. They don't have a problem loading the bases. They have a problem knocking them in, especially if there's no runs, especially if there's no outs, or if there's one out. They can't even get a sacrifice fly sometimes. It's ridiculous. Soto with runners in scoring position. Did you ever think you'd see Juan Soto have his average this low with runners in scoring position?
No.
I mean,
like I said, it's a mental thing with him now, and he's got to get out of it. He's got to, whatever it might take. I don't know if it's going to take, like we said, is Lindor have to get in his face, or I don't know. And that's the thing. Lindor should be the guy to do it, but is he the guy to do? Like, can he do it? Is he that type of player to get in a guy's face and say, "Hey, it's time to wake up. You're our guy. You're getting paid $50 million a year. Start producing." I don't know. Is he the guy?
I don't know. And we don't know what goes on in the clubhouse. We have no idea. But yeah, Lindor has to be the guy to do that ahead of anyone else. Maybe he's just waiting a little while longer. I don't know. But listen, they're all, it drives me crazy, because I know they have the bases loaded, no outs. They have the bases loaded, one out. And I know someone's going to strike out looking. They're going to hit into a double play. I mean, all you're asking for at least is a sacrifice fly if you can't get a base hit, or if you can't get a double. I mean, something. I just don't understand what's going on with the Mets with runners in scoring position. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm shocked right now, to be honest. Especially with Soto. I mean, the other guys, are they'll be fine too. I at least I think they will. And I like the top of the lineup. The bottom of the lineup is where, and Frank mentioned it. Yeah, you're gonna need another bat in there somewhere. Mauricio may, maybe he'll give you a spark if you bring him up, but is he a guy that you're gonna, count on for the rest of the season and in the playoffs? A lot of times rookies, you see it, they'll give you that spark, but then they start to slump. Just like Acuna has done, right? He started off really good. He's, kind of tailing off a little bit. So yeah, maybe sending him down so he could play every single game. Get him that everyday reps. Maybe that's what he needs. And maybe that's what Alvarez needs. That was a good point by him too, is to send him down.
Yeah, I think so. Let Torrens catch, bring the other kid up. He was doing a decent job as a backup while Alvarez was injured, because Alvarez really, he's another one. It's like an automatic out. Him and Soto, automatic outs. It's crazy. And when they're pitching to Soto, instead of avoiding him, something is wrong.
And you know what? And I think this is the series that the Mets, especially Soto, can get themselves offensively going, right? Because you're playing against, probably the worst pitching team in the league right now. So this is the team to do it against. So
yeah. Oh, definitely. And yeah, Eric Chavez, maybe, if this continues, you're going to have to do something. David DeYoung, maybe
they should.
Yeah, but I agree with that. Something definitely has to be done. Um, Maybe right before the All-Star break because there's still time. I mean, it's not panic mode yet, and I'm still not really, really worried about Soto. I feel, the type of player Soto is. He's going to eventually get into a groove.
Yeah.
I think I'm like 90% sure about it, but I mean, you never know. We keep saying it. We said, oh, it's only April. It's only May. Well, now it's the end of May. It's going to be June. But let's remember what happened last year. The Mets were bad in April and June. And then look what happened once June turned around.
Yep, I agree. And then looking at the other side, we got the Yankees. It's the big series, right? You guys played the Dodgers last week. Now the Yankees got the Dodgers in a rematch of the World Series. I listen, I'm looking forward to this. I'm sure the players are too. It was kind of funny. They posted that the Yankees gave the players their American League rings, American League championship rings. So, their pennant rings. All right, whatever. But Stanton, made a good comment. He said, listen, I don't want to see any of you guys wearing that, right? Because the ring that we want is still out there, right? So that I want to hear that because, I don't want to be, if I'm the Yankees, I'm not going to be content with just winning the pennant. I want the championship. I don't care about the American League pennant. I want the World Series, right? And I think this weekend, I think, is a good barometer of where they are. I know the Dodgers are banged up with their pitching, and they're going to be a different team by the time it gets to October, right? So, I don't care if you think the Dodgers are struggling now, or if you don't think they're that good, wait till October. That's when you're going to watch this team go because they got we mentioned it already, how many guys they have on the IL pitching wise. They got like 10, 11, 12, 13 pitchers on the IL. They just traded for Diaz, the closer from the Reds. He's been kind of struggling, so they'll fix him. He'll be fine in LA. But I'm looking forward to seeing how the Yankees respond here to the Dodgers, right? Because they want to come in, they want to show like, all right, we had you guys in that game 5. We messed up. That was on us. So I'm looking to see the Yankees responding here to the Dodgers, and they did some talking after the World Series. And listen, they had all right in the world to talk, right? Because the Yankees embarrassed themselves in Game 5, right? I mean, there's no question about it. We lost that game, so they have all right in the world to talk to trash. So it's fine. I have no problem. But the Yankees got to definitely make a statement this weekend. I think taking 2 out of 3. I think that would make a statement for them.
Yeah, they have to win the series. They have to take 2 out of 3 or sweep them, make a statement. Because let's face it, Stanton's right. The rings that they want on their finger, the Dodgers are wearing them right now. So second place. Even though it's it's American League pennant, but still, you want that World Series ring. The Yankees want to add to their collection of those World Series rings because it's been a long time, right? It's been a long time. There's a generation of Yankee fans who have not seen the Yankees win a World Series. Okay, that's really that's unheard of, but that's the way it is now. A whole generation. They haven't seen the Yankees win the World Series.
I know, and it's crazy. Like I'm sitting back. I lived through the '90s championship run there, 4 out of 5. I mean, it was like it's something. And going through it, trust me. I would always say, like, listen, we're never going to see this again. As great as this is, we have to really, soak this in and enjoy it because this ain't happening again. With the way that the game started to change with the salary tax and all that stuff. And who knows, in a couple of years, there's probably going to be a salary cap as well. So I remember going through it. We got to enjoy this, and especially with Rivera, guys like that don't come around often. And we still haven't seen another Rivera, so it's something we have to appreciate. And like you said, there are these kids that are, under 20 years old or about 20 years old that didn't see any of that. That didn't enjoy it as much as we did, or as much as
Or
I did.
you.
There's no
Let's
we
correct
here.
that. As much as
I did.
you did. Okay. I did not enjoy that, especially
In
a
2000.
certain year, 2000. Okay. One of my worst baseball experiences was sitting at Shea Stadium, Game 5. Piazza's shot dies and it's caught, and I have to carry a little kid who's screaming and giving the finger at Yankee fans out of the stadium before, the Yankee fans that were left killed him. So that was horrible.
Listen, my heart dropped when he hit that ball. I'll never forget, man. I was like, oh no, but
I was sitting, and I had good seats. I was sitting on the first base line, and it looked like it was out. I was getting ready to go crazy, and then we know what happened. And it's like, and I have to admit though, the Yankee fans that were left when this kid, my stepson was crying and yelling, they were really good to him. So, but other than that, that was horrible. And now there's a generation of Yankee fans that are experiencing loss, and you guys are just not used to that.
No, and trust me, the last now it's 16 years. It's going to be 16 years that we haven't won a World Series. So yeah, it's definitely something that we're not used to. But some of these other fans, like you said, this is all they know, and it's frustrating.
Yeah. So, I know. I want to say a quick hello to Joe Dell. He does the music and the videos for us. He's out there from the legendary band Sleepy Hollow. We have Marie DeFalco out there. Our regulars. We have a bunch of new people too, because we're on 2 new venues for us, Facebook and X. So we have people out there, and, we just want to thank the regulars, and, we want to let them know that we're going to have some contests coming up too. We're going to have giveaways. We have a whole bunch of stuff. We have guests, a lot of good things going on. Now, you mentioned it. I just wanted to bring it up before we go. You mentioned the trade. Cincinnati traded Diaz to the Dodgers. Okay, what do you think about that trade? We know that he hasn't been as good as he's been, and he hasn't been as good as his brother. But what do you think? You mentioned it before. Do you think that that the Dodgers are going to fix him?
I think so. I mean, they usually do, right? And I listen. It's more depth than they really need. In their bullpen. I mean, their bullpen is already strong with the guys that they have, but they did lose Phillips. Phillips is on this. They put him on the 60-day DL, so maybe he's done for the year. But you know what? They still signed. Who they signed? They signed the closer from the Marlins, right?
Yeah.
And they signed the guy from the Rangers.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That's right.
Yeah, I mean they already got a good bullpen, and they got how many starters? They got like 10 starters that guys are on the IL, so they're going to be fine by October. Like I said earlier, this team is going to be totally different. They're going to be ready to go in October without a doubt. So,
we saw the Dodgers pitchers on the IL. Their payroll salary is crazy. Yeah. It's just on the IL. It's over 50. It's like over 80 million almost.
Yeah,
it's insane of injured pitchers. That's more than the Pirates spend. It's more than some of these teams spend. It's crazy. So we know the Dodgers are going to do anything they could to win. It doesn't matter. And the Yankees have to make a statement this weekend, because let's face it, what would happen if the Yankees lost the series, or even if the Yankees got swept? What do you think would happen then?
Listen, it would definitely be in their head about the Dodgers, like you said with the Mets and the Phillies. Then you start getting that stuff creeped into you where, like, all right, we lost them in the World Series. Now we're losing 2 out of 3, or we're getting swept. Is this team just really simply better than us? Are we, like it also might force the Yankees to say, okay, we have to add this to our lineup. We have to add this to our rotation. But right now, the rotation is pitching great, and they're going to get Hill back probably in another month, right? By the end of June, hopefully we'll get him back, maybe July. So if he's there for the second half of the season, I mean, the rotation's only going to get better. And in the lineup is going to get better because we're going to get Jazz back soon. Yeah. And Stanton should be back also too in a month, maybe less, because he's starting to hit live pitching. So, I mean, the team's only going to get better from here, or healthier, so it could only get better. And then getting into the trade deadline, yeah, they're going to add, without a doubt. I mean, the Yankees are going to add probably an arm. I know the report that was out there from Bob Nightingale. They said the Yankees were aggressive in looking to add a bat and also a starter. So we'll see. Listen, like you said, make the statement this weekend so we don't have to have all these question marks afterwards, right? Take 2 out of 3, get out of LA, head home. I would love that.
Well, we'll see what happens, Chris. But that's all I have. Do you have anything else?
No, I'm pretty good. Listen, for all the newbies out there that are joining us, hit that subscribe button for us. We'd really appreciate it. Spread the word out there as well. Follow us on Twitter as well at NYMLB Talk. Follow Rob at Armoroska. Follow myself at CP7NY. And listen, we'll be back on Monday. We're gonna continue our Hall of Fame discussion about players that maybe need a little bit more discussing about if they're not in yet. So we're going to be hitting second base. And listen,
Chris, we still have that poll out there too, if you want to mention that real quick.
Yeah.
The Hernandez Mattingly poll.
Thank you, RV, for that. I appreciate that. And we're going to try to keep improving out there for you guys. If anybody wants to join us, like we always say, hit us up on Twitter and you can join us one day. We'd love to have you on the show itself. If not, hang out with us in the comments. And like I said, hit that subscribe button. So until then,
we'll see you Monday.
We'll see you guys Monday.